What's going on, everyone? So everything seems to kind of be on hold right now because of the Bradley Beal situation, right? Which this was supposed to be resolved 48 hours ago, right? They told us, 48 hours ago that it'd be resolved 48 hours ago. So it's been, whatever that is, 96 hours since that original announcement, right? We're all kind of waiting around for Bradley Beal. And you hear things like De'Anthony Melton and Malcolm Brogdon and some of these other names, but none of these teams, all the teams that want those two, all want Bradley Beal, right? They're all waiting around for Bradley Beal. So if any of these teams miss out on Bradley Beal, well then now you're gonna go and get a De'Anthony Melton or a Malcolm Brogdon, somebody like that. But here's the thing: if I'm the Lakers, do I just go and get that right now? Now, obviously, Lakers have 15 roster spots. You can waive Shake Milton. The other thing is, too, is for those that might be asking, if you waive Shake Milton, how are you going to sign Bradley Beal? Well, Lakers are working on a consolidation trade, supposedly. They would have to do that regardless. Unless Bradley Beal's really willing to take a vet minimum, which I don't know if he will, right? Lakers could use the biannual exception, and that also might be the thing that, maybe persuades him. Hey, and these teams are only offering you vet minimum, we'll give you the biannual type thing. So Lakers would have to make a trade in order to free up the biannual, where De'Anthony Melton and Malcolm Brogdon, especially Malcolm Brogdon, probably aren't getting more than the vet minimums. So, and if you're the Lakers, you could probably use those guys regardless. Because Bradley Beal is going to be your two guard. If the Lakers were to land Bradley Beal, right, you could slide Bradley Beal into the starting two if you wanted to, and maybe look to trade Austin Reeves, or if you keep him off the bench. I just don't know if he's going to want to come to the Lakers or just come off the bench, right? So maybe that kind of changes things. Do the Lakers, if they land Bradley Beal, do they start shopping Austin Reeves, right? We'll kind of see how that plays out. But, right, let's say, just for argument's sake, let's say Bradley Beal wants to come and he's willing to be a backup for the Lakers, right? Again, just for argument's sake, right? Well, even if you go, the plan is, okay, Andrew Wiggins or whatever, right? You're probably trading Gabe Vincent and some of these other guys. So you're going to need to replace them. So, would it be the worst thing in the world to, even if you do have Gabe Vincent, would it really be the worst thing in the world to go bring in Bradley Beal and then a Malcolm Brogdon or De'Anthony Melton? Right? Because my problem is all these teams are waiting for Bradley Beal. Right? Bradley Beal is going to make his decision. And then wherever he goes, the remaining teams are all going to be stumbling over themselves to go get Malcolm Brogdon or De'Anthony Melton, right? There's talks, the Lakers were the favorites to land De'Anthony Melton because De'Anthony Melton has been linked to, he worked out for Lakers, wanted to be a Laker, all that stuff, right? So he's been linked to Lakers for some time. Now you're hearing the reports that, no, it's going to go more the Golden State Warriors. Well, if you're the Lakers, it might be in your best interest to go to one of these guys and be like, hey, you can continue to wait for Bradley Beal. De'Anthony Melton, you want to go to the Warriors, right? You're between us and the Warriors, right? Well, the Warriors are waiting around for Bradley Beal. We're willing to sign you right now, regardless. If we don't sign, if you do wait for the Warriors and they land Bradley Beal and now they don't want to sign you, we might already have something done. Right? We might have already gotten Malcolm Brogdon or whatever. Right? Or you go get Malcolm Brogdon and that ends up happening. Right? I mean, even if you land Bradley Beal, whether he's your starter or whether he's coming off your bench, if Austin Reeves is coming off your bench, right? Either way, getting a guy like a De'Anthony Melton makes sense because De'Anthony Melton can slot in either guard position. He can slot in as your point guard. He can slot in as the two. And not just that, but he makes sense regardless because he's a guy that can be that initiator for you, play off of Luka, play off of LeBron, and play off of Austin Reeves or Bradley Beal if, depending on how things shake up, right? So to me, I look at the Lakers and I'm like, it might be in your best interest to go get a Malcolm Brogdon or go get a De'Anthony Melton. If they want to wait, then fine, then they wait. But do they really want to turn down a contract? Especially if these players really are interested in going to the Lakers. Because if Bradley Beal wants to go to the Lakers, you're going to have to figure out that situation regardless. No matter what, you're going to have to figure out that situation because he's probably going to want that biannual exception. Because he's going to have to turn down $15 million. So he's going to want to recoup as much as possible, right? So, but a De'Anthony Melton or Malcolm Brogdon, probably not getting more than the vet minimum. Maybe De'Anthony Melton, but you also got to keep in mind, De'Anthony Melton's coming off of an ACL injury where nobody knows if he's going to be good or not, right? But to me, if he's a vet minimum, it's worth the risk, right? Malcolm Brogdon is the ideal guy slotted. I mean, even the ideal guy slotted in next to Luka Doncic. Just a big, physical, versatile guard that, is a career like 39% three-point shooter that can slot in. And I mean, you could literally, slot him in right next to Luka Doncic if you wanted to, right? But the problem with him is just injury history, right? Like I'd rather have De'Anthony Melton. Even though he's smaller than Brogdon, I'd rather have De'Anthony Melton just because even though he's coming off of the ACL injury, he has a better health history, right? And ACL injuries aren't what they used to be. Like those used to be career ending, 10 years ago. Now it's like even 5 years ago, it's very different than what it is today. So to me, if you can land one of those, maybe De'Anthony Melton wants to see if he can go get the biannual exception from a team or something, then sure, let him wait. Go get a Malcolm Brogdon. It's like, hey, you missed out, right? Like you snooze, you lose type thing. But my concern is that if the Lakers miss out, the Lakers are waiting around for Bradley Beal. I mean, I don't know that for certain, but that's kind of like what else is everyone waiting for? Bradley Beal, right? So Lakers are waiting around for Bradley Beal, and then if they land Bradley Beal, it's fine. If you land Bradley Beal, it's like, okay, cool. But even if you do land Bradley Beal, Malcolm Brogdon or De'Anthony Melton makes sense regardless, right? To just have that guard depth, and especially to match up against teams like OKC and these other teams. It'd be nice to have those kind of wave of guards that you could throw at people. But, Lakers are waiting around for Bradley Beal, and then if they don't land Bradley Beal, because look, if we're being honest, the Clippers and the Bucks probably make the most sense for Bradley Beal because it's a clean fit. He slides right into the starting units. He gets to play his role, be the guy, do all that stuff, right? Gets to play how he wants to play the Clippers. Because of James Harden, Kawhi might be a little how much opportunity, but you can make the same arguments even if he gets to start for the Lakers, right? With Luka and LeBron, right? So if I'm being honest, I do think that those are probably the best just kind of natural situations for him. So if he goes to one of those teams, right, then now again, like I said, everybody's stumbling over themselves to go get a De'Anthony Melton or a Malcolm Brogdon. So unless those guys just solely want to be a Laker and they're not interested in anywhere else, but also some of those other teams might be willing to kind of pony up or do whatever, right? The more competition, the harder it is, right? And I've talked about this before. While everyone is looking and waiting for the shiny toy, right, go through the back door and go get the real things of value. And then if you're the one that actually ends up with the shiny toy, you're golden, right? Like if you end up with the shiny toy and you ended up getting, the quality assets in the back, right? Beautiful, right? Now you're in great shape. Like, is anyone going to be like, oh, Lakers got De'Anthony Melton and Bradley Beal. Oh my God, what are they thinking, right? Two guards that can create and score and shoot and do all that. Oh my God, how could Lakers want to be better? Again, those are great moves and pickups for the Lakers. One guy is slotted in at the point, the other guy can slot at the two. Now it makes it easier to go and trade a Gabe Vincent. Right? If you land a Bradley Beal, makes it easier to go trade an Austin Reeves if you want to do that. And now you can go get those quality wings. Right? Again, me personally, if you were to get Bradley Beal, I'd rather have Luka, Beal, Wiggins, or a Herb. If you trade Austin Reeves, could you go get a Herb Jones or Trey Murphy or something like that, right? Slot that in, and then LeBron and Ayton. Then, Luka, Austin Reeves, Andrew Wiggins, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton, right? I worry about the lack of defense in the backcourt. And look, Bradley Beal isn't this lockdown defensive player, but he's more athletic. He has had better defensive seasons, right? And he does all the same stuff, but he shoots better. To me, I would look to use Austin Reeves as that, cash in on your chips, right? Like you just got, a free bet. Use that and then cash in your chips rather than, having your chips and now you end up losing on everything, right? Again, my biggest concern is that the Lakers end up missing out on everybody because they're waiting for the one guy that, yes, the Lakers were his preferred trade destination, right? So in theory, the like the Lakers would be his preferred buyout destination, right? Like I don't think that should change. But again, things change for like the Clippers and stuff like that. And he wants to be in LA because it's closer to his wife and stuff like that. Right? So like, again, it's one of those questions of like, I don't want to see the Lakers. We've seen the Lakers have this habit of like waiting around for somebody or waiting around for something, and then it ends up not working out. And now the Lakers are scrambling to go get everything else. But you'll have 4 other teams that are still trying to go get those same guys. And now you miss out on De'Anthony Melton when you could have gotten a De'Anthony Melton. And if Bradley Beal still wants to come to Lakers, you can go get both. Like it doesn't hurt to get both. Get both and then figure it out. Right? Because again, you're going to have to figure out the Bradley Beal situation regardless. So I kind of look at it as like you're in this kind of win-win situation. Either way, if you don't land Bradley Beal, it's fine. You got De'Anthony Melton. If you do land Bradley Beal, oh no, you got De'Anthony Melton and Bradley Beal. Oh my goodness, right? Like I think it's a great spot to be in either way. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. It helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.